you join engineering and it's just part of your course and in first year. And I come from a background where I very humble background, so like we have to like start earning at the early age and things. So I had support at that age. A lot of youngsters would wanted to have themselves identified as unique. Somewhere you are spending 35,000, 40,000 to buy a high-end easy. You could get a system at home for 5,000-6,000. I do have my share of backlogs in engineering. Sure. So I was not that. I was an average kind of student. In short, the product manager has to maximize the value of the product. In our company, we don't see as like this is your work, this is our work. Come together. I think there is a different learning from working in an MNC.
Namaste, this is Srilata Shankar. In our Leadership Talk series, in collaboration with ITTV, we have with us Abhilash Rao Salvaji. He comes with a diverse background, an engineer, went on to do his management and currently doing his psychology. And he moved from a mechanical engineering background to a product management course or product management career. So let's understand his diverse and varied career, and also he has amazingly varied, diverse interests. Welcome, Abhilash. We welcome Abhilash to this series, and it's a pleasure having you with us.
It's my pleasure, Srilata. Thank you for inviting.
My pleasure too. Abhilash, I understand you're a mechanical engineer.
Yes.
Can you please walk us through your journey from your engineering to data analytics to product management? That's really interesting.
Sure. I think this has been a common question. Everyone who knows about my background, as any, in 2099, and as anyone who wanted to start into, you write an MSET. You get into either medicine stream or engineering. So being from an MPC background, I got in. I was a student of Mufakamja College, Banjara Hills, got into mechanical engineering. As everyone, I started with, you join engineering and it's just part of your course and in first year. And so in mechanical, we have like CSE, it had IT as specialization. So in mechanical, I had a specialization industrial production engineering. So specifically on that. But then what I discovered in between, along with mechanical in those days, though there are campus interviews and things, for you to be better, so you have to have an IT knowledge. So my family asked me, put me into courses. Mm-hmm. So right from my second year of engineering, so after first year, you have holidays. So don't waste your time, you have to be upgraded. So I started doing C++, Java, J2E, and advanced Java and all that. So I got myself accustomed with all the IT courses at that time, simultaneously while I was doing mechanical.
Right.
By the end of engineering, I was not like a great academic student, so I was not like on the topper. I do have my share of backlogs in engineering. Sure. So I was not that. I was an average kind of student. But what struck to me was in my final year of engineering, we did something innovative in terms of the project. So we didn't just do like someone senior would do it and we just copy it. And so we really took a research project as a group. My friends, they're my classmates. We all took in fact, it went out to be becoming a doctorate topic for my external guide. Sure. So that initiated that, there is internally, I have a drive towards solving problems and doing something new. Pick up something that no one did. And then at that age, a lot of youngsters would wanted to have themselves identified as unique, right. Wanted to stand out. Right. As everyone, I was also feeling the same way then. But that got me that critical moment that as the curiosity of building, solving problems, doing something new was what I got excited about. So once I didn't get through because of, I got through mechanical companies in my campus, but the drive was towards IT because that's where you're, I think. So I joined a small startup.
So you were clear while doing the course itself that you didn't want to continue with mechanical engineering? a mechanical part of life?
It wasn't that. So the fact was that I was good in mechanical. So my project got me a call letter from HAL twice. So the HR from HAL then said, will you join as if you, but it was more like your internship, and then you will have to go through, and so the journey was different, and I did not had lot of guidance to say that point. Oh, if you take this is how your career going to be. If you take this is how it's going to be. But because at that time IT was huge and everyone was getting into IT, all my friends were getting into IT. I was the only one who was not getting into IT because
Typically, a mechanical engineer, for example, would want to work with
mechanical companies,
Detroit companies of in Detroit, Mercedes, Benz, and all that. So, what made you not take up that course?
It was not
take up that path
specifically that I didn't want it to take up. There were options that I could have taken up at that time. There was a company called JCBL, and we still have that. They took Volvo as their initial startup, and we were doing, JCBL was managing Volvo buses here. I had got an opportunity to join them, but again, at that time you go by what elders
trend.
The elders ask you, that what is right and what. I wasn't really, but I come from a background where very humble background, so like we have to start earning at the early age and things. So I had to support. So I said, I can't take too long to stand. So I'll take the IT job because as I said, I was doing the IT courses simultaneously. I was a good developer. I was not bad. I was a good developer, and because we are also solving problems by writing code, so that part of connection was there. So
that kind of led a path for you.
Yeah, that because when we were doing projects in IT, and I'm again from Ameerpet. When you go and you do some courses, you have to do projects. But when you're doing projects, as I said, I don't want to do the same project. Right? I want to do something new. I saw that with your knowledge, you can pick up any problem around, and satisfy the inner desire to do something. So that was slow increments that allowed me to solve. So I thought IT, I can by writing some code, I can solve some problems.
So you started off as a software engineer.
Yeah, developer.
Right, and then moved on to data analytics.
Analyst. Okay. So it's a brief because I could not join MNCs then. I started in very small companies, startups. At that time, startup wasn't even a term. It was like, so I was with this company in Chennai, which I started in IIT Madras, Novatium. And this company was doing kind of a very innovative thing at that, at that time. For example, in 2004, 5, 6 era, buying a PC was 20,000-30,000, right? And this company was offering at the cost of 5,000-6,000. Right, very revolutionary. Somewhere you were spending 35,000, 40,000 to buy a high-end PC. You could get a system at home for 5,000-6,000, and it does not have a lot of setup. It was thin client technology.
Right.
So because this was a startup or a small company, my boss then, Saugata, who was my manager too, we were doing a small development of a project, and he said, if you are going to do what is given, you will not know why you are doing it. So, and the use cases of it. So he asked me to go into the field, go where we are doing a pilot. There was an area in Chennai called KK Nagar where we were doing the pilot, which means we have given the box, the thin client, and set up in certain homes. Like people who are middle class and lower middle class, they could not afford a PC. We gave them these PCs to use, and we would manage and learn and develop.
Right.
When we went into the field and spoke to them, the journey from talking to the actual user, the actual person, to the people who support, like the IT team who supports the server management team, to the marketing team, the sales team, all the stakeholders who are involved, it gave me a complete 360-degree vision of what you're doing would have to have a purpose, and you should know the nuances that happens end to end. if you know the end-to-end people who are affected, whatever that you are doing will impact, you could do a better job.
Sure.
So I went through the whole journey because I was developing this product. I was the developer, and then there are other team members who were from embedded and from backend. I was the Java developer there. I was the only guy, but I had to do all these interviews. I figured out this is better than just writing a line of code, and so you get to see, and I loved that process. That's where I actually had an introspection to say, like the project gave me when I was in engineering, is this is what I wanted to do, because solving, it's not just solving problems, but actually solving problems that impact people, that really give some value. I want to remember people that this product, and more than me, that whatever the product really has impacted them and brought value to them.
So were you involved in the hardware part of it as well, in developing a PC, for example?
No, so it was, briefly tell what it was. It was like you have set-top box for TVs these days, right? It was a similar box.
Okay.
Everything runs from the internet.
Okay.
So the local internet provider will give you internet cable. You will have that box and your monitor and keyboard. That's it.
Right.
So everything that you are doing is stored in a central server. So there is no CPU aspect.
CPU, right.
So it is just your monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and everything beyond that is connected through internet. It's similar to set-top box right now. But now that technology has become so wide. But at that time it was that. But it was a great learning experience. Right?
Sure. And then you're today working as a product leader.
Oh yeah.
Walk us through that, please.
Sure. I think again from there, when I switched to I wanted
from analytics to product.
Yeah. So then developer to analyst. So because I wanted to solve problems, I again joined a big MNC. In that MNC, now coming from startup, you do everything yourself. So you have a bit of freedom to question, to think radical and things like that. But when I joined an MNC, I got to learn the processes of it. So it's not that you just thought, I want to do this, you go and do it. Now, I think there is a different learning from working in an MNC, is because there is a process, because it has to scale. For it to scale, you need to have some systems in place, because many people cannot do wide things. So they need to be an alignment, and processes gives you that alignment.
So what is product development? What are the processes that you're speaking about?
Yeah.
And what's the difference? And my third question is, what's the difference between product development and product management? I understand the developers will do the development management, but if you can elaborate, please.
Sure. I think as the word says development, you're actually building something. And I'll take for the relevance, you're building this building, right? And there are different ways of putting your structure. Your size of your pillars, the shape, and the directions, where your windows will come, and a lot of aspects, so that it has that strength to withstand. Similarly, for any product, while the product management piece gives you the why and what, the extension of what and how goes into the development aspect. So it's not like I'll tell you, you do it. No, it's partnership. Both product management and development comes together. Hence, in our company, we don't see as like this is your work, this is our work. We come together. Product management, I'll elaborate a little bit more on product management, but coming just product development aspect, they are the backbone of everything, the product, because they develop, they design in a way that it withstands your hackers attacks, it withstands your load that number of people coming. So there are a lot of patterns how you develop a product. So that's purely technical aspect. Coming to the product management, there's a lot of business to it. So as a product management, you come up with a problem, right? You identify a problem. It's just not that you identify a problem, then you ask your partners to go and develop it, right? But you have to validate.
How do you identify a problem?
Depends on in which context are we looking at. So if you're in a product-based company, and again, depending on the size of the company, your problems could be coming from your existing clients, right? Because you are a big company, you have a lot, like in the case of ADP that I'm part of, we have more than a million clients, and we have a lot of different sizes in different markets of clients. So every client in different market, different cluster has a different type of problem that they give us. And for you to be a good product manager, you need to have a good listening skill. That's the key aspect. So you have to have a year of looking at all types of it, your stakeholders, your business, your marketing, your sales and service teams, support teams, and your clients. So that's where we kind of identify some problems. When it comes to a medium and small size of companies, before even we start doing anything, we do a lot of research, at least in the companies that I was a part of, because you can't just start and then figure out what to do it. And so first you identify something and then you start how to do it. So
I think that holds good for any product.
Any
if you're,
product.
Manufacturing the talcum powder, that has to be
Absolutely. And even there is a great example going on fog video these days, that how it has captured the market and beating Axe deodorants and all that, keeping the patents aside. But any successful product that has been there needs to understand the people better.
Sure.
So if you understand the people better, you can empathize better with them. If you can empathize better, then you will know the depth of the problem. The depth will tell you how good your solution should be. Is it a superficial problem that giving some kind of guidance will solve it, or is it deeper that because they are doing that because the existing systems force them to? So can you create an alternate way of approaching the same problem? So that again depends upon the person who is seeing the problem. You being an HR, how recruitment is a bigger problem and how many systems, there are so many companies working on it. And every company has their own way of solving the problem, right? So that's how they see the problem and solve it. But I think the one that understands the system better, the problem better, basically the HR who is recruiting, who is involved in the recruitment process, if you understand that person better, the better would be the solution. And that's how the product management starts. So you understand the person, have a clear objective, which means you understand the purpose, and then you work backwards. So this is my purpose, this is how I want to solve it. To solve this, what I need, and how I know. So then you get into the technology part.
That's a wonderful way of explaining, Abhilash. My question to you is, based on what you just mentioned, the organizations that are in the IT sector or non-IT sector have a similar case study. For example, if it is payrolls, outsourcing of payroll, for example, every company would need pay at the end of the day. Absolutely. And the base, components is basic HRA, special allowance, etc. So that being the common aspect, how do we understand each segment differently or each company differently and work towards that?
So coming from the company that I'm here, the global leaders in the payroll, but if you just see the payroll process and talk specific to the Indian context, because before the company that I'm with, I was heading the products company again in the HRM space, where we were building products for the HCM world, the HRs of India. As part of that, when I met a lot of HR personnel in different companies, the problems were mainly due to the taxation rules, right? So the company will have a different structure, but the component doesn't change. Your basic HRA allowances, LTAs, and then the taxation rules and the slabs. Right. The structure doesn't change, but what goes into that and how much it would go based on the internal structure of the company.
Meaning?
So let's say there are companies who will, take the PF. PF has a basic limit, right? But if you are a bigger company where you have a lot of salaries to be paid, certain employees would want to say, I want to have a higher PF contribution so I can save more tax, right? So, and there are certain companies who cannot pay more in the basics. So they say, I'll give you the basic PF limit, right? And the rest I'll give it in your hand. Right. So I have a more take home, right? So depending upon what type of organization that is and what level of salaries they are paying, their requirements change. And a product, again, coming to, if I had to build a product that serves these different, you need to understand the companies and these, as I said, these
Dynamics.
nuances of each company, and the HR has to go through in it. So now I would be a part of a mid-sized company where majority of my population are in the lower brackets area, where they would need more take home.
Right.
Versus I have a few executives who are a higher salary where I need to save more tax, so I can balance. Now I as a HR has to put in a structure that my components are still aligned with the compliance rules, meets it, but also I would satisfy their needs.
Got it.
Now, how I can put this into a system? I can't have a one rule apply all kind of situation, because I need to have a lot of configurations. That's where the complexity of the product management comes up, is because if you build your system to be too flexible, it becomes complicated because you need to manage too many parameters. If you kind of say, I have small, simple system, then it wouldn't fit all. So the balance is where the product has to figure out.
So the example that you gave, where does product managers come into the play?
I said, when I was talking to these HRs, when we were building the product.
So does the product manager go and speak to the various companies, or do the developers and the HR people go and speak to the different companies?
It's more the product managers. I think anyone in the product has to talk to your.
So they understand the case study, so to speak.
That is where you have to start. You can't start with development.
Sure.
Right? We can do development in any way, but if you are not talking in the ecosystem of the building software, right? There is a UX designer who designs how the UX journey should be, and then there is development, so who will say how it has to be. So what a product manager gets to the table is the user advocate. He is the user perspective. So now a design could be one thing that aligns to what we are talking about. Development could be another thing. But the product manager has to know the different personas, different use cases, different cultures, different setups and dynamics. Unless you have a clear understanding of these dynamics, you don't know what is the right path to choose from it. So that you can tell your partners from the UX or from development to say, I think this is where the value is, and this is how we should be going about solving this problem. So in short, the product manager has to maximize the value of the product. How you can is only by talking to your clients, customers, users.
Sure. So this logic applies to any web designing. A company wants to start their own web designing course, or you need to design the webs for their company. So that logic applies to them also.
Any product, even if I'm putting the software aside, even if you're doing any, let's say, a marketplace, a B2C kind of a product, even like a mobile or a thing. If the person who is designing the product does not understand the market, they're not aligning. So unless you understand the market, the person, and that's where I go back to purpose, because unless you find the purposes and you don't validate the purpose, you can't build product. And even if you build it, there's unfortunately high chance that you will fail.
Sure. So for a student who's doing his management or engineering, whichever stream it may be, EEE, IC, ECE, etc., how does he or she get into product management? Because do they start in their initial stages? I don't think so. So can you please elaborate?
I'll take my own example, but before I'll quote Mr. MSR, who was on your show, and so it actually starts with your own person abilities, right? So you need to have that drive towards being problem solver. Innate engineers have this character to solve problems. That's where they come from, because problems excite them. But how do you want to go about it? There are some people who are highly creative, and the creative drive actually it pulls them to drive it. And they were like, no, I want to be peace. So tell me, I'll do whatever it is. So for those who are like highly driven by career, it starts with that. So in my case, as I said, as I was going through my career, it was not like on the day when, I want to become a product manager. Right. No, it wasn't. So as I was progressing in my career, I identified those moments that excited me. So from being a developer, talking to the actual user journey, made me know I wanted to be an analyst role. So I can analyze more. As I went through the analyst role, I started building products. Then I went and spoke to actual clients when I have to position that to a client. Said, oh, clients are actually looking for this. Or can we actually build a market space? Then I said, I think I need to understand more. So I did my MBA. I said, oh, there are different dynamics of business that influence how you are positioning your product, whether it is market fitment, whether it is what we call as total addressable market or sizable TAM, SAM, and so on, what we call it, sizable obtainable market. Out of this, you don't want to solve the bigger problem, you want to take small and then grow. So all these dynamics, the financial plannings and all that. So I wanted to learn about it. I went into MBA. Okay, once after MBA, I'm like, ready now, I want to go product management? No. So it was like a phase by phase, right. You transition because of all this thing, you need to know product management starts with people more than the product. And if you understand the people, you understand the problem, you understand better products. To deliver better products, you need to understand a lot of things. And the key aspect of is influential skills. So there is a lot of personal attributes you need to learn, just not the product part.
So can a Java student, can a person who's started his career with Java, can he move into product management?
I'm the example.
You're the example.
I'm the example.
But what is the path?
I think I was talking to a group of students in Triple IT recently, and there's great students, great ideas in doing that. But see, as a student, when you are in academics, you see a lot of possibilities, right? And it feels that, why are not people doing it? It's so easy. And can't it be this? Can't it be that? But when you actually get into the real application of it, the reality is different because it's more than just what you see in academics, right? So it's the transition, right? You have certain thing of an idea of how to do it. Then you get into whether you are starting as an entrepreneur or whether you're starting as a product person in a company, you need to start. And we have a lot of avenues like from the PLF, we have the Educational Institute of Product Leadership that gives you mid-career change. If you are a engineering manager or an engineer wanted to transition into product management, there is Institute of Product Leadership that helps you to navigate. And in Hyderabad, Triple IT Hyderabad, which is one of the premier institutes in the country, has launched an MTech program in product design and management. And that also gives you an avenue to switch, because when you're reading and understanding, you need to know this. Like I said, I had to do an MBA to understand the nuances of business. But now it's evolved a lot. We have Premier Institute introducing courses to help you understand nuances of product management.
Right. I'm a management student and not an engineering student, but I want to get into product management. How can I get into it?
Again, if you're fresh out of an MBA and wanted to get into product management, as part of your, this is a tip that I could say, you start working on some small case studies and use cases, create a portfolio. So irrespective of whether you're a management student or engineering student, and this is what I say even to my cousins, that these days, especially in the current times, a person is not known by their resume anymore, right? So even if you give a resume to an HR,
you're saying that to an HR person.
you can validate me. How many times an HR could go through the thousands of flooding thing? Even if you shortlist, how many times a manager could go through the entire list and review it? I need a better way to understand the candidate. And it's also, I feel, a responsibility of the candidate to give a concise, a better way of telling it. And I say, what's the best way to do it than creating your own portfolio, right? Have your own website or have your own work, either on LinkedIn or some other place. Create a portfolio of things and create a profile for yourself, so that itself will talk you what you are capable of, right? If I am an MBA grad and I'm coming out, if I did some case studies to product teardowns or taking a case study in how this product could be done and what are the different things you could do as part of idea validation, prioritization and identifying the features, and then road mapping and all that. You do some activities of if something was given to you, how you will go about it.
I think that's a very, very valid point that you mentioned, Abhilash, because most of the management courses or colleges in India, at least, I mean, rather the local colleges, not the premier institutes, do not have a product management subject. So that pointers that you gave is very, very valid. So I would suggest the students to take up this tip that Abhilash gave, is to write case studies, understand those case studies, bring about the analytics part of it, and solve those case studies. So what is the difference between project management and product management?
Yeah, I think it's classic, right? So, in short, I think when we started IT in India, we were more of a back-end support organizations, and at that time, everything was a project because there is some client who is serving a customer, and then a lot of processes to take care. So they would give you a project to an outsourced company, and we execute in a specific time. And there is a team that executes that. So there is a project manager who's saying what to be done, when to be done, how to be done, and all that. So that's more.
So when you're saying what to be done is in the context of which program should be written and how code should be written, etc.
That along with, let's say, I have 10 things to do, right? Client want these 10 things to be done in next 3 months. So a project manager would say, in the past, even in these days, relevantly to say, these are the priorities of, and these priorities are based on, again, there's a lot of, experience and things also, because they also have to effort estimate to say, this for this, it takes this long for this. So you tell me your priority and the possibility. So they do a lot of these evaluation analysis to say what is the right thing to pick up and execute it and deliver. So this is part of the project management. So there is, again, the purpose in here is not decided by the company, it's decided by a client. And it is given, this is my purpose, and this is what I wanted to do.
So you need to bring about a solution.
You will just execute. So project management is more on the execution part. Product management is a step before execution part. Is, as I said, it's the why and what. And so there's a lot of, again, the process about taking up a problem, validate the problem and estimate the value of the problem, the market fitment and all that, and the business validation, how much business, what is the revenue, when can I get monetization, break even and all that. So all of that business validation, business aspects goes into the product management. But once you decide that vision and the purpose and the goal, what we call, even in HR, OKRs, objectives and key results. So we define the objectives. So our roadmaps have to align with objectives. And then the execution comes in, where you take up it as a project in a company that does a lot of projects. Or if your own product company also have your execution arm, we take that as a. So these days, I think we are calling more of scrums than earlier as projects and then project managers. We have scrum masters, product owners, and development team.
Right. So that my next question, Abhilash, is for project management. I know there's a certification course, and people have to be certified to become project managers.
Yep.
Is there any certification required for me to become a product manager?
I don't think that it's required. So you can start your career into product management by understanding product management nuances, but it gives you a lot of advantage if you could go through some of the courses. Like I said, IIIT is doing MTech in PDM, and then Institute of Product Leadership is giving a 2-year, and these are not like a full-time, they could do a part-time, and this as a full-time it's more valuable, but because you would be completely indulged in it. But there are certification. I got myself certified through an international organization, and we have AIPMM, Association of International Product Management and Marketers. I'm probably saying it wrong, but AIPM is one, and there is also another, couldn't recall, but there are 2-3 internationally acclaimed organization that gives you certifications, and that certifications carry a lot of value.
Sure.
Because in the IT industry, you're not like sitting in only in one company or in one location, right? So based on your projects, you might go on site and talk to your clients. And the value that would have gained from these courses and things, they teach a lot of stakeholder management and all that. When you're going into an international space, you get to show what we are coming up because there is someone who certified what you are bringing to the table. Although it doesn't mean that once you're certified, you're great. But I think you will at least have that up hand that you know how to do it because you are also trained. And if you're at an equal, that certification gives a weight.
All right. So for a product management, if I want to do product management, but I'm pretty happy doing my SAP. Gone are the days where you're actually working only on SAP HR, PP, MM, etc. Now it is S4 HANA.
Yeah.
I'm happy being in SAP, but I see my colleague has got into product management and his career is really upshot or gone vertical, and mine is quite lateral. So how do I get into product management, and will my career as an SAP developer or a techno-functional consultant, can it lead me to a product management?
Definitely, if you have that innate skills and abilities. Like I said, when I was an analyst, I was a techno-functional. I moved into pure product management. So it's not a limitation. Depends more on, are you ready? Are you ready to, unlearn and relearn, upskill? To say, I think that is with anything. I don't just limit it to product management, as because unless we are not following up with the market changes and trends, and like you're upskilling yourself, you wouldn't be relevant, right? So when in early 2000s, the ERPs are ruling the world. Whether it's Oracle Labs or SAP, those are people
even the Y2K.com.
Yeah, so they were paying thousands and thousands, those 30, 50,000 lakhs to get self-trained on SAP or Oracle Labs. But now, see the market, the ERP world is a backbone, but a lot on the front end, we have so many products that could do one thing better than the whole thing average, right? So in this kind of a world, you definitely have to look beyond the systems.
Sure.
Right? And you can't avoid the system that is now given. It has to be there because you understand the system. But also the people evolution. So recently we were doing this.
What do you mean by people evaluation?
So I was going to say, recently we were doing some research on one of the product enhancements. If you're building our audience are HRs, right? So they are end users. When an HR is using your product, the HR could be in their late 40s or early 50s, and they have a specific way of approaching things, which is process oriented and have detailed things. I need to do certain things in certain manner. So they need to see a lot of data before they take a decision. That's the mindset the user carries. And then there are smaller companies, certain type of clients where the HR is in 20s to 30s. For them, they don't need to have a lot of data. I don't want you to learn a lot of things. You take care of it. I have mine. So for them, the minimal guidance should be good, and say, yep, this is validated. You just go and do it, because the risk is moved onto the product. Then I'm saying, payroll is a process. Did I take care of my taxes? Yeah, I have to verify. A person from the early age, the older age, older generation, needs to see what tax deductions are happening, how is it happening. But somewhere in between, you don't have to view it. And if you give these are done, I'm trusting the system. And there is new age coming. I said, why it is so complicated, right? Why can't it be? This is what my timings are, and my per hour cost or my salaries. Just do it and say, am I going to get more or less? And if less, why? That's it. So they wanted much more simpler, faster systems. So now you as a product manager, you have to serve all three people, right? But how best you can balance, right? And you just don't see the current. You have to look into the future, because it has to sustain. Definitely it's going to change. Sure. But how long is it going to sustain versus how soon I have to change? because a company has to put a lot of resources and investment in developing something. If I have to change that in next 1 year, then 2 years of my development is waste, right? So I wanted to do certain things that enables me into the future rather than serving my current purpose.
I agree with you, Abhilash, that you need to constantly upgrade yourself, upskill yourself, reskill yourself, learn, unlearn. But my question is, if I'm working on SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft, Java, .NET, is there a career for me in product management?
Yeah, definitely.
And if yes, how do I go about it?
Like I said, if you have a desire to move into product management, you could start with taking up an additional time to do some work, run in some cases, and the next, I think the best thing is to join an institute or a course that helps you get the basics and get the foundation, right? But that doesn't just say that you can. So it's better if you could do some foundational courses so you understand the nuances of product management, but at the same time continue to build your profile and portfolio.
Right.
So
what if I have a horrible boss who does not give me that path?
I don't think you can be limited by anyone else.
Absolutely, I agree.
Right. So it's ultimately your life, your career. And
it's how you motivate your own self also.
Yeah, definitely. That's all. Is because if you wanted to be stuck in an environment because you cannot go, that decision is made by you.
Correct. Because I completely agree. While there may be stipulations, you can also break those stipulations.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. I think everyone will make a hard call at one point. It is up to their limit of patience. So
I also agree that as much as you're driven and very keen on to going that path, the universe opens up for you. The God opens the direction for you.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
There's always. It's just how long is that tunnel, which is your persistence. So there's always a way out.
The young students, not necessarily just students, but even professionals, want everything really fast today. I had a candidate many years back who came in, and I was working for a BPO company then. He had 11 months experience and he wanted to become a team leader / team manager. So the youngsters, they don't have, the attention span is very, very short. And this B is, they all wanted really quick 2-minute noodle types. So what are the 3 things that you will advise the students to do, and 3 things that you will say, hang on, this will not work?
The first thing I'll probably not try to advise is because like the generational thing, right? So the current generation is exposed to international matters on technology or growth way early than we were in that age. So I think they have a lot of information. So if at all we have to say anything to them, it's probably sharing our experiences, because I might be saying something based on the experience that I went through in those times with the situation that I was in.
Sure.
That could not be the same case with them because the times and supporting teams have changed. So,
but you have a lot of experience.
But that's what I'm saying. Instead of saying, I think you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong, you shouldn't be doing this, it's better that when I did this and this is what happened to me. So that gives them what they have to pick it up, because the lesson is inside them, because they'll know it more of what this person did in that situation and why it happened the way the result was. Now they will evaluate and do, irrespective of giving a decision or a direction, they will do whatever they want to do, because that's how you.
No, but then they also need a lot of guidance.
Definitely. That's what I'm saying. In my view, don't advise, give guidance. So advising and guidance are 2 different things, right? It's like in psychology terms, there is counseling and there is guidance. Right? Counseling is a little bit more deeper than guidance is on a higher level. You're just telling, go this route. So counseling is you are actually building up internally, mentally, and everything to prepare to go in that road. Like someone who has to sprint or to run, you'll say, this is your shortest route, this is your longest route. That's guidance. But looking at, how is your muscle strength? Are you taking good food? You're preparing them mentally, physically, and then saying, now you sprint, is where the counseling comes up.
Sure.
Right? So for that, there is a classic saying I use: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if the student is not ready, even if you put a lot of things, it wouldn't get in. But if you are ready, you will be open to take many things. And there's a lot around us to pick up from. So I wouldn't advise to say this is right, this is wrong, you should do this is not. But if someone wants to know, someone wants to, hey, I need help and I want to get this, I would probably share, if I have, I will share my experience. If not, I would probably say, based on my understanding, this is what better because of these reasons. The rationale is very, very important, and I would usually prefer to give rationale than just guidance.
Sure. What are those 3 rational points?
So one thing is commit. Right? If you want to do anything, commit yourself. If you can't commit 100%, you will not see 100% results. And if you are halfway through, then you yourself will question your own decision. Right? So once you commit, right, wrong results, you be 100% commit to it. The first thing is commit, and second thing is consistent. Even if it is because you have other things to take care based on which part of your life you are, especially I'm talking about the students, I think they have bundle of energy, unquestionable energy, and good amount of time if they can really focus. Right? So be consistent. It's like training your body, half an hour every day, if not 1-2 hours of hard training. Even if half an hour, if you could meditate and do a little bit stretching, it's good. So that kind of little commitment aspect will do it. And 3 is respect, I would say. For me, respect comes on the top. Respect to your work, respect to the individual who is around you, respect to anything. If you can't respect what is given to you, people will not respect what you're trying to give.
Right.
So have that, empathy and that little obedience towards the others, whether you're talking to a customer or a stakeholder or an elder or your colleague or someone junior. Have a little bit of humbleness so that you can learn a lot, you can grow a lot.
Right. So you also mentioned that you're a psychology, you're doing a course in psychology. What got you to that path? I'm done with my education. I'm waiting my degree. So it's my master's in psychology. I'm always intrigued by people and minds. So I don't know, many people know about P.V. Pattabhiraman, who was a great psychologist and a magician, very well known in Telugu states. His brother, P.V. Nageshwar, he was my neighbor. I used to read a lot of psychology books. My uncle is a psychologist, and so I just used to read. But again, as I said, moved into MBA because I want to learn this. Product management is a lot about people than just product. So I always have this urge to understand people, understand the mind, understand why they are what they are. Right? Or why they say what they say.
Yeah. So they say because what they are. So I wanted to. So what makes someone what they are? So what is the background, mind, mentalities, and why it happens, and all that. So I took up psychology because I wanted to understand people better.
It's a 2-year full-fledged course?
Yeah,
right.
2 years.
So I'm doing my MA journalism now. I hope to finish it next year. And next course is going to be MA psychology. So I'm going near your path. Youngsters or any professionals for that matter want to switch careers completely. Well, let's say I'm doing fairly well in HR, but I completely want to change into IT or marketing. So what is the guidance or advice you will give for people who want to switch complete careers, 100%?
Before you make the decision to switch, make sure that you did good study about the career, which means you need to talk to a lot of people in that stream. get different perspectives. Someone will say what you might be already thinking. Some might would say completely 180-degree reverse than what you might be thinking of what it would be. So if you would have done that, and still if you're saying that no, this is what I want to do because after hearing I'm still committed, then I think you should pursue it irrespective of the situations. Coming to the guidance part, right? So now when you speak to the people, you know there are some contacts and context people that they gave. Approach them, ask if they could give 1 hour or 2 hour time in a week or in a month, whenever, because they are the people of value. If you could approach them, the best way of doing it is because not many people approach. They'll just take some advice and then go about and figuring out. And that's where they take little longer time to reevaluate. But if you could get a mentor to say, I want just 1 hour of your time in a week or in 2 hours in a month, anything that they could give, right? And we have a lot of people, and for sure, no, being in that particular state, and even I myself went and asked my previous managers and someone I know and adore. I went to them and say, I'm stuck at this age of in the mid-career or in a place. I wanted to move up. I wanted to see myself in this area, in this level. What should I do? So what should be my mindset about it? How should I go about it? They will give you. So if you could spend some time with the mentor, just telling them what you did and what they say about what you did and what you should be doing, and then taking an action on it. If you could get some mentors, I think it will take you into any track that you want.
Yeah, I will add to that. What you mentioned is also don't keep jumping careers because somebody else is doing well.
Definitely.
You should be very clear about what you want to do.
Yeah, if you're jumping, then it means the first part you didn't do it right because you did not validate what you wanted to do and you did not commit. Right. So if you're jumping, then you did not have clarity about it. I think you shouldn't jump if you don't have clarity.
Yeah, clarity, and like you rightly said, there's a lot of research on what you exactly want to do, and persistence.
It's like you go to a restaurant and you go to a buffet and you taste everything, right? Unless you taste, you don't know what you want to eat. So you don't pay 2,000, 2,500 bucks just to have one thing. If that was the case, you could have it ordered at your home and do it. You go to a restaurant and a buffet because you want to try everything and see what you like, what you don't like. And then you come to a clarity what you have in that restaurant because you're paying for it. Similarly, you're paying your time, you're paying your energy, your resource, your life, you're spending a lot of you into it. Without doing enough analysis and research and trying to get different perspectives, if you put yourself into it, then you're going to waste your life.
Right. What Abhilash mentions is, he mentioned that you have to try many things, but that doesn't mean that you keep trying too many careers in your life.
Yeah.
Don't keep moving from HR to training. It's ancillary, it's connected, but HR to finance doesn't make sense. So don't do something which is because somebody else is doing it.
Definitely not somebody else. So I said, like, try it in the restaurant. Don't eat them as your main course.
Right.
Have it a taste.
One spoon.
One spoon. Yeah, one spoon. Just have a taste of it. Tag along and see if someone is doing something, what they're going through. Is that what you want to go through?
Right.
Good, but don't jump into that because that person is doing it. I want to do it. No, definitely not.
As a product manager, we met at the PLF event.
Yeah.
The product management probably led you to this PLF forum, and you are also one of the organizers for the PLF forum. Can you please talk in detail about it?
Sure. Most of my career I was in Bangalore. In my 18 plus close 19 years, majority of my life was in Bangalore. The second now is in. So I've been in Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, and Hyderabad. So the Hyderabad ecosystem, when I came to Hyderabad, and this is my first company that I'm working with Hyderabad, and I've been there. The product management community as a whole in Hyderabad is we had HPL, Hyderabad Product Leaders Room, which was doing good, but the activity went after we went into lockdown and pandemic. I see, with our leadership, with our government, and T-Hub and Triple ID, a lot of we have the ecosystem around, and we have the people, the product managers around, but it's too diluted. It's too diluted because I started with the thought that I wanted to be engaged. I used to be active in product circles in Bangalore. I used to know VCs. I used to know CEOs and part of NASCOM product community, and a lot of things were there. And a lot of my friends who started along with me are now either part of collaborators or accelerators or incubation centers and things like that. So now, looking at all of that, I can't travel to Bangalore and Hyderabad to do all this engagement, but we have a lot in Hyderabad. Why haven't we doing enough? When I wanted to go and see if someone is doing, I wanted to just join. I didn't want to like drive anything. I just wanted to join and be part of it. I haven't seen anything working out, and everyone was busy because of different factors. Why I have to wait? Can't I do it if I want to do it? I know the Product Leaders Forum group, and I approached them. I was part of PLF before pandemic. So I approached them, hey guys, what are we doing about this product community in Hyderabad? Yeah. Fortunately, coincidentally, the product PLF team also wanted someone to be hands-on over here. We wanted to activate this ecosystem here. So yeah, why don't we start off with? And along with Raj, who also was the co-chair on the event. So Arun Ramanathan is the the director who is heading the PLF Mango. Said collaborated and said there's a lot of team members, Ganesh from Triple IT and a lot of folks. We pulled off that event and it was a good reception and start. But it's just a start to say, and we aim to do a lot more in Hyderabad ecosystem, engage with startups, engage with enterprise, because that is the strength. We kind of like did a teaser, not think about something called a college program called Aspire, where the product managers who are undergoing courses, who are undergoing trainings, could be part of Aspire and drive it as a community at the college level. You don't have to be an enterprise or corporate guy. So Aspire is going to launch. It's pretty much, we are in the process of finalizing things. So right from college, there is an engagement in product. So there's going to be a lot of workshops, case studies. So the people who are studying, people who are actually working, will come together and work on it.
So are these courses or lectures, as one may put it, are they for the engineering students and management students, or which sect of students are they for?
The workshops, you mean?
Yes.
So we didn't kind of closed on anything. So because as I said, we are just igniting things, and the fire has to burn. So right now it is the first sections that we are planning towards is to have more product communities, product managers and product learners to come together. But we'll see if we see there is a need to engage larger audience. And by the way, when I say that, I'm not limiting that only product managers can attend. If you would be an engineer or if you could be anyone, right? But want to collaborate because you have an inclination towards product management, right? You can be part of it. But it's not that only product management. But what we are focusing is the aspects of product management.
And what are they?
So, for example, if you have an idea, right? So let's say design thinking. Design thinking is an aspect of product management. How you design a product
disconnected
and using, how you approach a problem. So the design thinking is one of the aspects. And now design thinking workshop is not limited to product managers, but someone who wanted to learn product management, could be an engineer, could be friend of a product manager who also wanted to join, could come in. But in the workshop, we would be focusing on that topic. So you could be a student, you could be a corporate, experienced person, professional, coming from a product manager. You could be a junior level product manager or a mid-level manager or a senior level manager, whoever you could be. You could be an engineer who's doing development or in any aspect of the product development space. It could be anyone basically. And if you are interested in design thinking and wanted to learn, contribute, you can jump. But we would be focusing on aspects of product management, but not limited to product managers. But the idea is that we increase the knowledge base. See, the goal is gone are the eras where you would be told something to do and you will do it. We aim to be the global product managers. We don't think from a specific vantage point and see, this is how you do things. You need to know like the purpose, right? Who are you going to serve? Sitting here in India, a product manager can think about an end user in Middle East. I'm taking an HR example. Probably an HR in Middle East have a different requirement compared to an HR in Europe has a different requirements, and HR in America has a different requirement. When you're building a product, you should be able to know about them. So which means you as a product manager thinking global, right? So your audience are not limited anymore. So is as a product manager, you need to think larger, which means you think global. And PLF is that kind of platform I'm seeing it to be is we build global product managers, which means whether it is any aspect of our influential skills, stakeholder management, planning, road mapping, prioritization, design thinking, any aspects of product management, you bring your experiences, we grow together, we develop together. So I think the goal was to have 1 million product managers by end of 2025. I'm not sure about exact number, but ultimately we want to have the global product managers in India. We have a strong product community in India. And in Hyderabad, we do have them. I think it's just a matter of we all coming together, combined by purpose rather than individual goals. That's all.
Like you rightly said, most of these management colleges, maybe not engineering, but at least the management colleges, because I've also been teaching them, don't have a subject called product management. So will it be a good suggestion or input for you to go and speak to those colleges and educate those students?
I think it's a great idea. I think we will, as part of the PLF community initiative, we will also engage with colleges to introduce the nuances of product management. But I think you rightly pointed about having a stream for product management as part of an MBA curriculum. I think our government, our education department is looking at the curriculums and revamping and making it more relevant. I think there are higher qualified people than me who are already aware and influencing that area.
Because that's required. The reason being, till last few years back, there was no course called digital marketing.
Yeah.
Now it's become not a full-fledged major stream, but it's an ancillary course.
Yeah.
Or at least they understand what is digital marketing.
Right.
So similarly, product management, if a student is equipped with those various aspects of product management, then when he starts his career, he knows which path to take.
Yeah, I think we should have it as a course curriculum as part of the management aspects. If not the full stream, but at least a part of the curriculum as a subject and things. Like we have marketing.
Right.
And business, could be one of that stream. I hope to see that sometime soon. But I said, I think the leaders are the ones who can have a greater influence than me. But as an end, the common man person, I would hope to have a course for product management as part of MBA curriculum, is because that's important in the the area, the age of information technology that we are, and the way Atmanirbhar Bharat and all these great initiatives, for it to be successful, you need to have that mindset. And that mindset could be inculcated right in the education stream, and you have it in there. So by the time you come out, you will have that mindset to start.
Right. So for an entrepreneur who wants to become an entrepreneur, does product management course help him become an entrepreneur much faster or much easier?
Yes and no. Is because I think there is a close connectivity between product management and entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of fancy things around about it. Like be our own boss, I'll do things, I'll
Earn my own money.
I'll make money faster, shorter, I'll just make something and sell it off, I'll be getting into high. There's a lot of the buttery things around. But I think if you look at deep, the aspect of is the business aspect of the product management and the business aspect of being an entrepreneur journey is same.
Right.
Because you ultimately are solving a problem and that needs to fit the market where you make money out of it. It's not that you just solve it because you want to do a charity, no, right? So because you need to sustain to deliver that value. So those aspects are there. But entrepreneurship is a different level than a product manager, is because you have to go through the VC thing and making sure you're paying. You have a lot more responsibility and accountability as an entrepreneur, because a lot of people are associated with you for the same goal, right? And you as an entrepreneur, it's your responsibility that you make sure that you're not just taking care of your life, the people associated with you. So it's a higher responsibility, and for you to do that, you need to have much more than just product management knowledge, right? Because product management knowledge gives you that foundation to say to do all of that. But a product manager as an entrepreneur is different, and product management enterprise is different, is because probably in an enterprise world they are a little bit better because the risk is someone else, right? In an entrepreneur, it's all yours. So I see it that way.
As a leader of product development and product management, do you envisage becoming an entrepreneur yourself?
Definitely, definitely. I think I had a small stint of entrepreneurship tried out. It didn't shoot up, but we just started off it. Definitely, it's been a plan since close to a decade now. We on off thing. So I'm at a stage where there's a lot of people doing a lot many things, and I just don't want to be another person. If I'm trying to solve something, I don't want to be another person. My friends who share the same sentiment say, they're doing it doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. You can do better. Right? It's not exciting to me yet. I just want to do what someone is doing and do better. My areas of interest is primarily the food, health, and education space, and a bit of supply chain. Anything in these areas excites me. I see there's a lot of opportunity, but there are a lot of people also doing it. Sometime when I can focus, I'll definitely start it.
So you mentioned supply chain, and supply chain leads to product management. Am I right?
Yeah.
How?
You mean supply chain leads to product management or needs product management?
I said lead.
No, I don't know how supply chain will lead to product management, but supply chain is completely different, right? So supply chain
Is there a synergy in that context?
No, product management, at least in my view, those are domains.
Right.
And as a product manager, you could be part of any domain. But to be an expert as a product manager, you need to build your domain skills. Like I have a bit of strength in HCM space because most of my career I've been developing HCM products. But I was also part of supply chain products. I was also part of the internet computing, and also what do you say, collateral management, a little bit of that, automotive and all that. So there are different exposure to different domains, but as you grow as a product manager, people come to you for your expertise, and to be able to be that expert, you need to grow that expertise by sticking to a specific domain. And yeah, I think supply chain is one of the complicated domain, because there is a lot more than one that catches an eye. So yeah, it's an interesting space.
You're right, because as product management is becoming the niche thing, supply chain management has also got its own beauty, and it's got a great career path for itself.
Yeah. Supply chain, as I said, it's one of the complicated domains that we have around, is because from production to sourcing to delivery, there's a lot of things that goes into it. And something produced in Mexico to something that's on your plate, there is so much process happens in it, and there's a lot many people are involved, and governments and rules, regulations, so many things, fleet management, and a lot of things. So there is a lot more complications and complexities in it, and that's an opportunity too, right? If there are people who wanted to start an entrepreneurial journey, there is a lot of ways you could get a solution out of it. Yeah, I think that's a space that we can explore.
You have varied interests from trekking
Yeah.
to being part of some English plays to producing your own short film. Please talk to us about it.
It happened accidentally, like things happen. I think that's what. So in college, I used to listen a lot to music. I used to Telugu was my first language in school, so I used to read a lot of Telugu books. So that got me into a little bit of lyric writing. So I used to just some lyrics in college. Now that led to I used to drive a lot because in Bangalore as a bachelor you have your weekends, you wanted to go around. So I used to travel a lot in the Western Ghats, and with my friends we had a trekking.
Expeditions.
We had a group, so we used to go on treks in Western Ghats. So I couldn't go now because I have a leg injury, but that I miss a lot. But biking, trekking, and again, as part of that group that we have, we had people from different spaces. So my friend Mustin Jiruwala, who also runs his own company in Bangalore, great person. I adore him a lot. He is a theater and TV artist. So he introduced me to acting. I did not many. Anand Raghav is my director who makes plays in Tamil, English, and Kannada languages. So it's part of one English play, and there's another play that we did for charity. Um I used to do small, role in an acting. So again, after coming to Hyderabad, I wanted to do something for my daughter. I produced a music video, just something for my daughters as a memory.
Did you sing?
No, I didn't sing. I collaborated with the actual. I just produced it. I produced it, but I got to get involved in a lot of the 24 crafts of the filmmaking and aspects. I got introduced to it, how things happen, and I have a great team of people who were part of it. So one of the assistant director made a short film and wanted some support, so I acted in that short film. That happened because so there was no other way of doing it. It's not that I want to do it, but I'm interested, but it's not that I want to do it. I don't have time to.
So you should pursue your career as in acting as well.
If I don't think I'm a great actor, but out of interest, if things happen, if there's time, I'll probably.
So what do you envisage for your future, Abhilash?
I don't. First thing is I want to be a good human. So in that sense, I'm here, I'm working part of a company in Hyderabad. So my goal is to build the product community and contribute something to the product ecosystem here. And in my personal life, down the line, I wanted to have my own company solving actual problem, not just because I want to start a company. So I'm looking for an exciting problem to solve. I think down the line I will probably see myself probably solving problems that impacts life.
You also mentioned that you want to give back to the society.
Yeah.
In what context and how?
Like you mentioned about the colleges. My life started in a small village where there are hardly 50 families in a small town. It's a place called Lakshetipeta near Mancherial. It's between. So coming from a small village, the way that life and to the way there, even when I was in US and things like that, I think there is a lot of things that are stagnated in certain places because of the opportunities that they don't get to see. Like I said, if I start my own company, I would probably start in a tier 2 cities than in Hyderabad or in places because a lot of potential. There's untapped potential there. And I work with a lot of my colleagues who come from places, they are super great. I'll talk about my own friend who was excellent in academics and excellent in problem solving. He is still. But at the time when the opportunity was supposed to be given, he couldn't get that opportunity because of certain, whether it is communication skills, whether it is personal skill, and all the soft skills, he couldn't be out. So he lost certain opportunities.
True.
I think if he had that, and with the ability and capability that he has, if the opportunity was there, he would have been doing a lot greater than what.
True. True.
So I think the times were then. I think it's changing. I think as a person that I got from the society, whatever that I got, I want to give it back to say those people who really deserve opportunity and couldn't probably tap that potential to see, how we can bridge that. That's where my interest is.
In fact, it's not just the tier 2 cities, even the engineering colleges in Hyderabad, you see a lot of students from the farmer background.
Yeah.
I've interviewed at least a few of my candidates, and they probably were my juniors. They all come from, their parents being drivers, etc. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised, because saying as much as the parents have gone through their own struggle, they ensure the children get their good education. And
I think we are all blessed because of the parental system that we have
in India.
And the kind of culture that puts you to you go and do things. There are other. I don't talk about the other extreme cases, but keeping the positive towards, we have one or the other way.
Yeah, they bend themselves backwards, but they ensure that students, the kids do well in life.
They go way out of their abilities to give what is right for their kids. I think, again, it's probably the age factor of the any human. They realize the effort, but I think it's again a different topic about how you can make your kids aware of what you're going through, but not like influencing things, and it's a different topic. But what parents give to make sure the kids, we are because of them. There's the support systems that we have, not just parents, whether it is your uncle, aunt, and your grandparents, and the extended family that supports you, is amazing. And I truly give credit to a lot of that. For me to get to what stage that I am, and definitely my family, my wife and kids, and so without them, whatever we are is not probably would have been happening.
Right. Apart from product management that you want to give back to the society, what else do you wish to do for the larger public?
As part of like a larger thing or my personal?
On your own.
I support the old, Anadha ashrams, like, orphanages in my own personal capacity, but that is very, very private thing.
Sure.
I do it on behalf of my deceased brother. So, but beyond orphanages, I can, if I can give anything, I'll be happy to associate with anything.
Right. In that context, I think we can collaborate and we can tie up with colleges where you can go and give a demonstration or a lecture on product management.
Definitely.
That will be really helpful for students.
Yeah, for sure.
It was wonderful talking to you, Abhilash. Thank you so much for being our guest. For this time. And it was really, really wonderful. Thank you so much for being our guest. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Srilekha. Thank you for inviting, and this was a great start for a long future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.